Hi bullet journalists, and today I'm going to be trying out the Faber-Castell Gelatos. I'm really excited to get my hands on these. I've been trying to look for them for a while, so I've got the 12 pack here, just the simple basic pack. But there's like several ways you can actually use these. I've been looking up a lot of videos on YouTube to try and find some great ways of using it. And I think this is probably the coolest thing about them, is that without any water or anything, you can blend them and really blend them like you would watercolor, but again without water. And if your finger kind of gets a bit dry after a while, you can even just simply use a baby wipe. So for our journals, I mean, this one's 160 GSM, but for those that might be 80 or 100 GSM, then you don't need to use any water and still get that blended effect. And I just think that's so cool, considering we're all trying to do a bit of watercolor, and it sometimes is a bit too much for the book that we're in. So I'm starting this new Archer and Olive book today, moving into it for the year, and I dilly-dallied around a lot with what I'm going to title it. Definitely after this video, I am writing my phone number and email address in here, because if I ever were to lose my bullet journal, I definitely want it back. So if you know me, you know I'm terrible at calligraphy, actually anything artistic. So I like to use a lot of cheats, and this fake calligraphy is one of my favorite cheats, because you just make all the downstrokes, or what would have been downstrokes, thicker, and it looks like you've actually done some beautiful writing. And as you can see, there's absolutely no color blended through the papers, so I'm really excited about these. Another thing I got excited about with the gelatos is using the stencils. This is my ultimate bullet journal stencil kit. I think it has 20 stencils in it, and this is stencil number 19, and it's got this beautiful sort of rose foliage border, or divider I suppose, and I'm just washi taping it down. The trick to note is to put some washi tape over adjacent stencil holes. Is that what you call them? I'm not even sure. But when you're padding color down, like I'm going to show you here, it definitely gets a little bit messy, and it's hard to keep it because these stencils have a lot of holes on them in small spaces. So by using the tape to kind of cover up where you don't want color to go, you're definitely going to get a much cleaner result. So as you can see, I'm literally just using a baby wipe, putting some pigment on from the gelatos and dabbing it in. I think sometimes you do a bit of a rubbing motion depending on the stencil and also the effect that I want to achieve. So these stencils are great. I love them, and I love that the gelatos are just so easy to use with them. I've tried doing them with watercolor, and if you've got too much water, it sort of bleeds under and around the stencil, which can be a real nightmare. So I just love that I can add this color and use these stencils without having to worry about any water at all. So it has this accompanying, guys, I can't speak today. Do you know, I'm just gonna give up. It has this bottom border without a flower in that I thought just complemented it very well, and that's complement with a E, not an I, just to prove that I do know English. And I just wanted to put something on the bottom as well that's going to sort of even it out. Again, I'm covering up the gaps in the stencil where I don't want color to go, just to make sure I get a neater, cleaner line, because we all know that if Messy Buju was an Instagram handle that was still available, I would definitely deserve that title, because my Buju is always messy, all the time. Now, as this is obviously a key page, I'm actually looking for another stencil of a key that I can include. Honestly, the stencil trick's so great, guys, and all you need is a baby wipe, or even like a damp cloth. Just one that's not too absorbent. I tried using kitchen roll, and it wasn't quite the same effect, so a wet baby wipe is definitely the way to go. Just using that dark blue. Honestly, these colours are just beautiful, don't you think? And the stencils just make it so easy to make something pretty if you've got no artistic talent like me. Awesome. So next I'm doing another cheat that I love. I go to a website called Da Font, and it has a hell of a lot of fonts on it, and I type in whatever it is I'm trying to write, and then I essentially just copy that into my bullet journal. You'll probably see me doing this a lot with my setup for 2019, just because I am terrible with fonts and calligraphy. And so I'm doing the cheat again, and this is what it turned out to look like. I'm pretty happy with it considering my lack of artistic skills, and I'm keeping a track of my color coding, like which pens they are, because I hate color coding and then not finding the right pen to code with. I even added some sparkle. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Oh, there you go, a little bit there. Beautiful. And yeah, I'm really pleased with that. As always, hit the subscribe button. I love hearing from you. I hope this is kind of giving a bit more inspiration for the gelatos. You can obviously also use them as watercolor, but I just thought it was cool to show you what else you could possibly do with them. So tag us on Instagram in your gelato usage at journal_junkies. We'd love to see it, and